Hi, I'm Norman Brooks. I'm 91 years old. I was born in England in Loveday Street Hospital a very long time ago. Oh, bombings in London, bombings in Coventry, bombings in Birmingham. Yeah. But you could see the red sky, aircraft flying over Birmingham, dropping bombs. And just up the road was a big park. And I think one day a German pilot decided he didn't want to take his bombs home, so he dropped them in the park. And these were oil bombs. And he just dropped 3 oil bombs in the park and left them there. So they exploded and created a lot of oil over the park area, but didn't damage any houses, which it really could have been deliberate. The guy didn't want to bomb the houses. Well, a lot of the damage was caused by the anti-aircraft fire, which was based in a park just down the road from us, and they would be firing up shells, which exploded up there, and the shrapnel fell down. So as kids, it was always an object amongst my buddies and I to see who collected the most shrapnel. So we had a big bunch of shrapnel around, and sometimes these shells didn't explode, so they came down and created a little crater in the middle of the road somewhere. So they indicated to my mum and dad that maybe a couple of you guys should be evacuated. So my brother and I, my young brother and I, were packed up with our little gas masks and a little suitcase and shipped off on the train, actually 30 miles away out of Birmingham, all that distance up to Burton-on-Trent. My brother had already joined up. My brother had joined up. He went into the Fleet Air Arm, so he was a couple of years older than me, so he was gone. But he had a good wartime. He would have joined the Navy in 1943. So for the next 2.5 years, he was based in Trinidad. Wonderful war he had. First of all, I joined the Navy Cadets, so we would be using rifles from the First World War. They were old Lee Enfield rifles, but we would be doing arms drill in the parade ground. And we would also do, we'd do one night a week and then on the weekends as well. And we'd do marching and on parades and learning seamanship. And of course then it came out that conscription came in England, of course, and so by the time you're 18, you're either you're going into the military or else you're going down the mines. Well, at 17 and a half, I decided that I wasn't going down the mines. So I joined the Navy at 17 and a half. So that was the best thing I did. My father said I was stupid, but there you go. When I was finished all my training, and then they shipped me out to on a troop carrier. Anyway, and then it stopped again in Cairo, and we stopped there in Cairo, and we got a day out. I went ashore there and visited the pyramids, and was able to go into the pyramid itself, and up to one of the tunnels into the tomb. And that was at the tender age of 18, going up there. I thought, my God, this is the thing to do. So, and then we saw the Sphinx and a couple of other things, and quite an. Oh, I nearly got killed there too. Yeah, I didn't realize that the cars travel on the wrong side of the road. So I stepped off the curb in front of a car, and some guy just grabbed me and stopped me going. So I was very lucky that I didn't get hit. But it was because I hadn't realized the cars were coming the other way. They were in Cairo. So if you ask me, I do know that they drive on the right side of the road in Egypt. They do. Where I got up to, all the way up to Calcutta, and it must have been Christmas Eve. The landing craft that I was going on was in dry dock. So they said, oh, well, we're not going to take you to the base, we'll take you straight to the ship. Okay, fine. Well, I get on the ship and everybody's drunk as a skunk, and they didn't even know I was coming. So anyway, I met Earl Mountbatten. He came on board the ship and had a chat. He said to you, "What did you do before you joined the Navy?" I said, I worked in an office, sir. So anyway, so, and then I don't know what he was doing on board on board a landing craft at that time. I've got no idea. But shortly after we left Singapore, we went into a place called Penang and picked up a couple of tanks and all the 2 or 3 trucks and about 150 guys from the Indian Army, which had British officers with them, but they looked after themselves on the deck. And then we went down to Batavia, or just outside Batavia, which was now Jakarta, and we landed these troops in the jungle somewhere up there and left them. And we went off and waited maybe a couple of days out in the bay and waited, but nobody came. So I think we left there and went back we started on a wave trip back to England, where we paid off the ship, and then I got another ship on a minesweeper, and then I spent the next 6 months minesweeping in the English Channel. We had a couple of episodes there that we got into a big storm in the English Channel, and then for some reason the ship ran into the dock wall. Well, being a wooden ship, it was a wooden ship because we were sweeping for magnetic mines, so we were a wooden ship. So we split the stem post, so I was lying in bed, which was I was in the lower bunk, and I could hear the water swishing, and I told one of the engineers on board the ship, I said, I can hear water swishing. So he said, let's take a look. So he lifted up the boards, and the bilge was filled with water. So we figured out that the stem post was still split from the crash in the wall. So anyway, I think they decided to get rid of the ship, so they paid us off, and then they didn't want us anymore. They didn't have a ship, so they kicked me out. They kicked me out of the Navy. I said, okay, that's good, I'm gone. So met a young lady working on the bus. She was on the number 13 bus or something like that, and Bill said, she's on the number 13 bus at 8 o'clock. Okay, fine, thanks, Bill. So he knew where she was, so I said, okay. He said, go see her. So I did, and we got along well. So yeah, we eventually got married. So it worked out well. So there you go. Yeah. And then we came to Canada.